Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Wednesday, the 9th of September. 13 out of 20 Indian nationals are safe. 7 missing in Saudi-led airstrike, confirms India's foreign ministry. Myanmar president meets rebel groups for peace talks ahead of polls. And India's eastern Bihar to go to polls on October 12th. And now for all the details. Amidst escalating tension, the Indian Border Security Force and Pakistan Rangers are set to hold talks on a host of issues. Here's a report.
The much-anticipated Director General level talks between Indian Border Security Force or BSF and Pakistan Rangers will begin on Thursday in New Delhi. This comes after the National Security Advisor level talks were called off last month following Pakistan's insistence to hold discussions with Kashmiri separatists. The 16-member Pakistan delegation and the 23-member Indian delegation will primarily focus on reducing cross-border tension.
Important that the BSF and the Rangers talk to each other for management of the IB, the international border, and what you might call as issues that impact the lives of those who are affected by any firing across the IB.
Issues such as ceasefire violations, including sniper attacks on each other's positions, will be on the agenda. Other issues like infiltration and smuggling of contrabands is likely to be discussed. There have been at least 180 ceasefire violations reported by both India and Pakistan since the two Prime Ministers met in Ufa in July.
India's Election Commission has announced the schedule for the assembly polls in the eastern state of Bihar. The crucial elections for the 243-member assembly will take place in 5 phases from October 12th.
An estimated 66.8 million voters will exercise their franchise in 243 constituencies in Bihar between October 12 and November 5. With the announcement of the poll dates, a model code of conduct is now in place in the state. The Chief Election Commissioner also announced that tight security will be ensured and necessary arrangements are being made for free and fair elections.
In order to ensure electoral integrity during all steps of election cycle, the Commission attaches great importance to impartiality, neutrality and fairness of entire election machinery in their action as well as perception as far as stakeholders are concerned.
The run-up to the election battle in the state has witnessed the ruling JDU and its strong contender, Bharatiya Janata Party, intensifying attacks against each other. While Chief Minister Nitish Kumar is seeking a third term under the Janata Parivar Alliance, BJP, which is in power at the centre, is also hoping for a massive victory in the province as well.
Bharatiya Janata Party चुनाव के मैदान में जाएगी और हम चुनाव जीतेंगे. अब जितनी भी दिक्कतें थी बिहार के लोगों की वो खत्म हो जाएगी क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी लोजपा रालोसपा हम ये मिलकर लड़ेंगे और बिहार में सरकार बनाएंगे.
हम अपना काम कर रहे हैं और आगे भी जो हमारी काम करने की योजना है उसके बारे में भी हमने बता दिया है कि जो हमारा 7 निश्चय है, बाकी जितना काम कर रहे हैं उसके अलावा वह भी काम करेंगे. इन्हीं मुद्दों पर हम लोगों के बीच में जाएंगे और सभी तबके के लोग वोट देंगे, इसका मुझे पक्का विश्वास है.
The counting of votes is scheduled to take place on November 8.
Meanwhile, 13 Indian nationals are alive and 7 others are missing in Yemen, Indian Foreign Ministry has said. This comes after initial reports claimed that 20 Indians were killed in Saudi-led airstrike.
13 of the 20 Indian crew members are alive and 7 others are missing after their boats came under aerial bombardment on Tuesday, Indian Foreign Ministry has claimed. The 2 boats came under attack while sailing between Somalia and Yemen. As of now, there is no information on the identity of the Indians.
Embassy officials are in constant touch with local authorities and are also due to meet with the boat owner today, at which point more information would be available. The ministry has sought a detailed report from the local police authorities. Based on that report, further action will be taken.
The Saudi-led coalition has ramped up attack on pro-Iranian Houthi rebels in Yemen. Tuesday's attack was reportedly targeted at fuel and arms smugglers in the area controlled by the Houthi rebels. In April, thousands of stranded Indian nationals were evacuated from Yemen during such Saudi-led strikes.
People in Pakistan-administered Kashmir want to be part of India, Muslim critics have claimed. This is due to Pakistan's indifferent attitude towards the region.
Distressed by growing extremism, lack of development and discriminatory policies of Islamabad, the people of Pakistan-administered Kashmir want to be a part of India, claimed Maulana Sayyid Athar Hussain Dehlavi, the chairman of the Anjuman Minhaj-e-Rasool. Dehlavi, who visited the region after the devastating floods last year, said people there favour a referendum so that they can vote to join back to India.
तो इसलिए जब मेरे इन लोगों से मुलाकात हुई और वो वही ज़माना था, फ्लड का ज़माना था, उन्होंने अपनी आंखों से देखा कि साहब इंच भर के बाद भारत में क्या डेवलपमेंट है और इंच भर जब हम इधर आते हैं तो क्या तरक्की आते हैं। तो उन लोगों ने कहा कि बेहतर ये है कि हम मरने जीने से भी आरी हो गए हैं, क्या ही अच्छा हो कि उसी रेफरेंडम को जो नेहरू रेजोल्यूशन को ले गए थे यूनाइटेड नेशन के अंदर, उसी को एक बार अप्लाई कर ले। और अगर होता है तो उन लोगों का कहना है, जो मेरा अपना तज्जिया है, कि 99% कम से कम पीओके के लोग उस गुलामी की ज़िंदगी से निजात पा के भारत के साथ, अपने जम्मू कश्मीर के साथ मिलने और विलय को फ़ौक़ियत देंगे, इसको कबूल करें।
People in Pakistan-administered Kashmir are fed up with the atrocities committed against them by the Pakistani establishment for decades.
जिसके ऊपर पाकिस्तान हालांकि अभी तक ये तो कहता है कि वो आज़ाद कश्मीर है, लेकिन उनकी ज़िंदगी गुलामाना ज़िंदगी से बदतर तरीन हालात में है। 67 साल में जब हम अपने जम्मू कश्मीर का मवाजना करते हैं, तो आज हालत ये है कि हमारे यहाँ रेलवे, कम्युनिकेशन, कोई ऐसी चीज़ नहीं है जो हम मतलब एक आलमी सतह पर एक वर्ल्ड स्टैंडर्ड के और उसके म्यार के ऊपर हमारे यहाँ मुहैया नहीं।
Pakistan-administered Kashmir these days is abuzz with pro-freedom slogans.
Malls in India are not faring well these days. Bad location and poor planning are said to be reasons behind this.
Business should be booming at India's shopping malls, with the retail market expected to be worth $1 trillion by 2020. Malls should be crowded and cash registers should be ringing. But in many cases, they are not. Of the 255 malls in India's top 7 cities, only 20% are operating up to the mark, according to real estate consultancy Jones Lang LaSalle. Bad locations and poor planning are being blamed.
I think developers, they didn't realize that designing and running malls calls for a different kind of expertise. Strata selling was one major factor why most malls that failed so. Another reason was they did not plan the tenants right. So this ill fit in terms of shop profile within malls was one more reason. Indian government policy in terms of allowing foreign direct investment into multi-brand retail, and then they cancelled it, again they said it's allowed. So this back and forth was one more reason. Most developers didn't realize that it's an ecosystem besides the main point that the location itself was wrong.
Some malls are doing so badly that as many as 14 may be put up for sale this year. But potential buyers are likely to be thin on the ground.
Because consumer demand has not come down. We don't have so much of supply of malls that malls cannot do well. So these malls can be reoriented to make it more retailer and customer friendly. The other way of doing it is probably, yes, selling it off. But when the mall is not doing well, the buyers are not going to come easy. So it's going to be a tough time for the mall owners to kind of dispose these assets. So the only way out, I would say, is to re-engineer the mall.
A facelift may help some malls in the short term, but the fight for customers in the long term may be more of a challenge. Nidhi Rai, South Asian Newsline, Mumbai.
Moving on to neighbouring Myanmar, President Thein Sein on Wednesday met ethnic rebel groups for peace talks in order to secure a ceasefire cross-nation before polls in November.
In his first public appearance since the start of the campaign for the polls in November, Myanmar President Thein Sein met leaders of ethnic minority guerrilla groups for ceasefire talks in capital Naypyidaw. However, with some groups excluded from the talks, a successful and complete ceasefire seems unlikely. Fighting in the restive Kokang region along Myanmar's border with China has been continuing since February.
ကျွန်တော်နိုင်ငံရဲ့ဒီမိုကရေစီအသွင်ကူးပြောင်းရေးဟာငြိမ်းချမ်းရေးမရရှိဘဲနဲ့မဖြစ်နိုင်ဘူးဆိုတာကိုအလေးနဲ့ထားပြီးပြောကြားလိုပါတယ်။ဒါကြောင့်တနိုင်ငံလုံးငြိမ်းချမ်းရေးကိုကောင်းမွန်မှန်ကန်တဲ့ဆန္ဒနဲ့ဝိုင်းဝန်းဆွေးနွေးကြဖို့ကျွန်တော်အနေနဲ့ဖိတ်ခေါ်ပါတယ်။အခုစက်တင်ဘာလမကုန်မီမှာလက်မှတ်ရေးထိုးနိုင်ဖို့အတွက်ဒီကနေ့အစည်းအဝေးမှာပဲကျွန်တော်တို့အားလုံးညှိနှိုင်းနိုင်လိမ့်မယ်လို့လည်းမျှော်လင့်ပါတယ်။
Earlier, Myanmar opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi also urged the rebel leaders to work on the deal to ensure lasting peace and stability. Strained ties of Myanmar's ethnic minorities and the majority Burmans who dominate the government has prompted many groups to take up arms and fight the military at the rugged borderlands of the country since independence in 1948.
Human rights lawyer Amal Clooney met with jailed former Maldivian President Mohamed Nasheed, whom she is defending in terrorism charges against him. Clooney met Nasheed at the high-security Mafushi prison in capital Male on Tuesday. She is part of Nasheed's high-profile legal team that is fighting to secure his release. Nasheed, who is Maldives' first democratically elected head of the state, was ousted in 2012 for ordering the arrest of a judge. He was sentenced to 13-year imprisonment in March by the Abdullah Yameen government, a move that many criticized as politically motivated.
President Nasheed is in remarkably good spirits. He wanted me to convey to the people of the Maldives that they should remain hopeful that things will improve, and he's pleased that I'll be attending meetings on his behalf with the government this week.
The FIFA soccer project in Pakistan is not in a very great shape. The centres are marked with litters in dilapidated buildings. A report.
In a cricket-crazy region like South Asia, the soccer fever is gradually catching up. But lack of proper infrastructure and basic facilities are factors that don't encourage young talent. In Pakistan, the stadium and football pitches are in bad state. The Hawke's Bay Technical Centre in the port city of Karachi, which received $505,958 from FIFA under its goal program, is devoid of grass.
तक उनको पिच मिलता नहीं है, वो इसी ग्राउंड पे जो है इसी तरह चलते रहते हैं। जब हमें पानी मिलेगा तो इंशाल्लाह पिच भी 1 साल 6 महीने के अंदर पिच भी बन जाएगा, अगर पानी मिला तो।
Things are no different in the Peshawar Centre, where walls are covered with graffiti left by drug abusers who often use the building.
इधर ये बनना था, आधे रह गया और फिर ये बन गया, फुटबॉल का ग्राउंड नहीं बन गया।
FIFA has pumped in money to some poorest corners of the world for popularizing soccer and providing facilities. In Pakistan, it has not taken off.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. 13 out of 20 Indian nationals safe, 7 missing in Saudi-led airstrike, confirms India's foreign ministry. Myanmar president meets rebel groups for peace talks ahead of polls. And India's eastern Bihar to go to polls on October 12th. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.